students, the achievements of Dev Samaj College are many. Every year, Dev Samaj College of Education impart education among the students and make them to be in the top 10 positions of Punjab University in BA, MA, postgraduate diploma in guidance in counseling, postgraduate diploma in child counseling and family guidance. We are also holding the Best Award, Best NSS Units Award at national level and received a cash amount of rupees 40,000 by MHRD, Government of India. We are also the recipient of Best NSS Unit Award awarded by the Punjab University, Chandigarh, also holding the award of Best NSS Unit state level. We are also having the Best NSS Program Officer Award, Best NSS Volunteer Award. We are also the recipient of Swachhta Ranking Award given by the MHRD at Delhi. And we are also holding the overall sports trophy for the 12 consecutive years. And apart from this, participating in curricular activities is the foremost consideration of Dev Samaj College of Education. And we prepare the students not only be competent in academics, but to prepare them skillful by participating in art, drama, music, sports, stage, declamation, quiz, and many more activities they are engaged into. The NSS volunteers in this pandemic period of COVID-19 are performing wonderful duties in collaboration with Punjab University and NSS department, with the Government of India, with state NSS liaison officer, our NSS program officers in the guidance of our worthy Madam Principal, working day and night to empower the masses to stay home, stay fit with taking all the precautions laid by Government of India. Sir, I would like to bring into the notice about this webinar. In this challenging COVID-19 pandemic phase, we are living in a time where uncertainty, trepidation, anxiety, and fear loom large on horizons. The teachers and academicians, it is particularly a critical time since they are at a verge of concluding the present session, but now worried about the examination strategies, that is how the coming academic session is going to pan out. We wish there was a magic lamp that could answer our questions and show us direction. While we sit out awaiting instructions from authorities that are trying to make sense of mathematical model and other predictive tools at their end, we want to take this opportunity to reassure that the haze will surely lift. The entire exercise of human life has reached to a settling stage where everyone is making strategies to beat this COVID pandemic and to retain the complete balance between mind, body, emotions, and incomplete. The present webinar is a call of action through which we are fabricating a platform for academicians and educators across the globe to think, create, ponder, and share to design a course of action to combat this difficult time. It is our firm belief that we have the knowledge, expertise, and resources to make this happen. We do hope that the teaching fraternity will help forward to find out means and methods through the sports, yoga, art, music, and culture to improve the mind, body, and soul lives of the society in general and students in particular. Because where sports makes you fit, yoga is a way of life which helps in a complete body-mind balance. Music is a universal language which acts as a stress buster. Art makes you innovative and creative, and culture promotes national understanding and international integrity. So, sir, we are really thankful that you as a leader, boosting all the faculty members of Punjab University, where the colleges are shut down, the university classes are shut down, but not the teaching and learning process. Same way, our esteemed chairman, sir, at the age of 80 plus, always motivates us, support us, because he is the man right from the age of 18 years of his age. He is serving Dev Samaj Society without having a single penny from its account and working day and night. We are really thankful to Madam Principal for her wholehearted encouragement and ever boosting nature to support us to make this experiment, no matter whether we are going to make it 100% or not, but definitely we are going to learn something out of it. I'm really thankful to the Dr. Parminder Singh, Dr. Rakesh Malik, Madam Dr. Richa Sharma, Dr. Akshay Anand to being the co-organizing secretaries of this seminar. Sir, we have decided the theme, a roadmap to sustainable development through sports, yoga, art, music, and culture during COVID-19 pandemic. And we are having the resource person overseas as well as the speakers from India. And definitely now the participants are waiting to hear from your side, sir. But before that, may I request all of you to please rise in your seats for the college prayer.
भला चाहना मनुष्य मानता है इंसान राजी है भला चाहना मनुष्य मानता है इंसान राजी है किसी की तुम न जानी नहीं भला चाहना मनुष्य माने इंसान वासिब है वह हिंदू हो मुसलमान हो या यहूदी हो या ईसाई वह हिंदू हो मुसलमान हो यहूदी हो या ईसाई ब्रह्म और सिख का उचित सम्मान वाजिब है राजा मनुष्य सम्मान वाजिब है रूमी हो या ईसाई हो चीन हो या जापानी फिर एशियाई हो या अफ्रीकी या अमरीकी कहीं का हो कोई भी हो उचित है एहसान वाजिब है भला चाहना मनुष्य माने इंसान वाजिब है गलत जाता कर को हरम से भूला हो गलत जाता कर कोई से भूला मोहब्बत से उसे देना धर्म का ज्ञान वाजिब है बता चाहना मनुष्य वाजिब
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देव समाज प्रेयर भला चाहना मनुष्य वाजिब. On behalf of the organizing committee, I would like to request our worthy chief guest of today, Vice Chancellor Punjab University, Chandigarh, Professor Rajkumarji, to please address the participants and encourage us with his motivational words.
Thank you, madam. Thank you. I am audible? I am audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The participants from the different part of the country as well as from abroad, the resource persons who would address this the webinar, the academicians, researchers, as well as the organizing committee member. I am very happy that this is a joint effort by the Dev Samaj Educational College, Punjab University, and the PGI. I have seen there the participation from the PGI also. So in this way, there are the three means institutions who have taken the lead to organize such type of program. I congratulate the entire organizing key team for organizing such a nice event. I am really very happy that the theme that you people have decided is really very useful. Useful in the sense in this critical period. I was just seeing a roadmap to sustainable development through sports, yoga, art, music, and culture during COVID-19 pandemic. Really, it's a very touching theme. You can see presently the entire human existence is in danger. Everybody is looking for the survival. Everybody is looking for the safety. You can see the materialistic component that the developed country has, but even then they are unable to for this COVID-19. Such a period, such a theme would be very useful for the survival, for the balanced mindset. Nowadays, more than 1 month, people confined to their home, their stay. You can understand the busyness that we have. But we have forgotten all those things. We have started an entirely different type of lifestyle, entirely different type of routine, starting from the morning to the late night. It is the change that we can observe, and it has come out by the compulsion. Now you will find that we should compromise with the nature, the environment, the position that the situation that we have, and in such a period, this yoga, meditation, music, and the culture that we have, heritage that we have, is the only way to be in safe and happy. You just remember our ancestral, our values and ethics that our forefather has. They have quite often told about the patience, about the balance of life, about the lifestyle, about the habit, about the culture. But we were just running behind the materialism and we have forgotten all those things. I'm very happy with this theme. Certainly, it will go in a long way, not only in India, in abroad also, that there's a need to be very balanced in life. Life is a very, very temporary. Life is a very, very short, unpredictable, uncertain. So let us enjoy each and every moment of life. And for that purpose, friends, it is not the money. It is not the levies, the luxury that we have. We are well off each and everything. But you can see the another story, another part of your life. The people are helpless. They are confined in a cage. They are confined to the house only. They are having the luxurious cars, luxurious vehicles, every facility they are having. But they cannot go out. Why? The nature doesn't allow. The nature, we committed blunder rather. We exploit the nature. We just put every, you can say, the crushing acts on the nature. Now the another part is that the nature is balancing it. And in such a situation, it is really the yoga that can survive. The people are passing through the stresses, tensions, depressions, and disbalance in their mindset, their thought process. One aspect that I would like to earmark, it is the domestic violence. I was just listening in some interview study itself. There's a very significant increase in the domestic violence. And ultimately, what they were suggesting, the expert, they were telling about your theme, only your theme. Let us divert our mind. With the diversion will be through the arts, through the music, through the meditation, through the yoga, through the culture that we have, heritage we have to just share with our children, with our parents, with our grandparents if we are having, with our neighbor even, keeping in view the personal distancing. I'm really very happy, and I want to see a very good write-up on that. I would just suggest Neeru and her team come out with some concrete articles in form of the edited book. I would love to edit such type of book that would become the history, I can tell you. After 500 years, after 1,000 years, people will remember you. That would be a part of the history, and the generations to come will just go on the pages and see what our say human being, our ancestors, our forefathers, they are having such type of philosophical mindset. Even in such type of global crisis, they keep life. They enjoyed with their family. They enjoyed whatever the minimum they have. This will go in a very long way, not only in our country, in each and every part of the world, I can say. Now the people are very madly looking. What is the new going on? They can share, they can see, they can say, they can interact with the people. What the going on in India? Because it is the India that had established the lead in providing the medical facility, in providing the precaution that we have. So it is the high time, and the responsibility of the academicians, researcher have increased. I am very happy that the PGI people are here, the Dev Samaj College student, as well as the entire management, and the teachers are there, and there would be very good number of the participants from the different parts. I just tell them, try to share their experiences. This webinar should not confine only the theoretical word. Try to just knock their inners, what they are feeling, what their feelings are, how they are seeing after say coming out of this uncertainty. Certainly their life will be changed. They must see not only in terms of their livelihood. Now this is the time when we must see that how we have to behave with the human being, with the nature, with the animals, with the rivers, with the hills, mountains, the water, the resources that we have, and try to change the mindset of the people. The another aspect of the human being is we very easily forget it. Very easily forget it. That's why I'm telling, if these things will be in black and white, certainly after 1 lakh years, the people will go through and will appreciate the effort made by these three institutions. That would become a very golden phase of the history in coming generation, who certainly will look at that. With this, once again, I congratulate, and really I am very happy. The theme is, once again, I would like to tell, yeah, this is very, very rare team. I love you, these themes, and I want to communicate it. If you are having very good summary and the write-up, certainly I would just put it for the further means a destination to see the other institution, even the ministry, even the ministers or the academician researchers across the world. With this, best of luck once again, each one of you. Stay home and be very, very active. The word that I am telling, खाली दिमाग शैतान का घर होता है. तो आप घर पर रहो लेकिन एंजॉय करो. अपने पेरेंट्स के साथ आप जरूर बात करो, उनके साथ ज्यादा समय दो. ये बहुत दुर्लभ समय है कि कितने लोग तो अपने पेरेंट्स से बात ही नहीं कर पाए होंगे. ये जरूरी है आप फोन करके जो है जितने आपके रिलेटिव्स हैं उनसे बात करो. आप उनका हालचाल लो, कैसे हैं, और देखोगे कि आपका माइंडसेट, आपके अंदर जो निगेटिविटी आएगी वे अपनी आप जो है वो खत्म हो जाएगी. थैंक यू वेरी मच.
थैंक यू वेरी मच सर, आपके इन शब्दों के लिए और आपकी जानकारी के लिए मैं बताना चाहूंगी कि जैसे आपने बोला कि ये सिर्फ इस ग्रुप तक ना सीमित रह के और लोगों तक भी जाए, तो हमने डॉक्टर अक्षय आनंद के माध्यम से जर्नल ऑफ इंटीग्रेटेड मेडिसिन केस रिपोर्ट्स की ओर से सर ये लाइव फेसबुक पे चल रहा है, जहां पे पूरा जो संसार इस वेबिनार से जुड़ा है. सर अब मैं आपको रिक्वेस्ट करूंगी कि आप उस शख्सियत को देखें कि जैसे आप पंजाब यूनिवर्सिटी में स्पार्क भर रहे हैं, हमारे पीछे एक स्ट्रॉन्गेस्ट पिलर है, वो है मैडम अग्नि ढिल्लों, हमारे प्रिंसिपल. सर वो भी वो 2 मिनट बोलेंगे. उसके बाद सर हमारी एक रिक्वेस्ट है कि हम एक ग्रुप फोटोग्राफ आपके साथ लेना चाहेंगे, तो आप प्लीज बने रहे. डॉक्टर अग्नि ढिल्लों, प्रिंसिपल देव समाज कॉलेज ऑफ एजुकेशन.
थोड़ा जल्दी करो, थोड़ा जल्दी करो, हमको एक दूसरा सर.
बिल्कुल सर, बिल्कुल सर.
Go ahead.
निकाला जब हम सभी बहुत अपने घरों में बैठे परेशान हैं. हमें स्टूडेंट्स का भी फ्यूचर दिख रहा है, अपने देश का भी दिख रहा है, इवन सारे वर्ल्ड का दिखाई दे रहा है. लेकिन इसमें जो हमारे सेमिनार का थीम है, ये मुझे पूरी उम्मीद है कि इसमें बहुत हेल्पफुल होगा. और हमारे अंदर जो नेगेटिव फीलिंग्स आ रही हैं वो कहीं ना कहीं आ रही हैं. हम बहुत बहादुर बनने की कोशिश तो करते हैं, कभी एक्सरसाइज करते हैं, कभी पॉजिटिव थिंकिंग करते हैं, कभी हम अच्छे राइटअप्स में वहां चले जाते हैं, लेकिन कहीं बैक ऑफ द हार्ट हमारे अंदर नेगेटिव फीलिंग्स हैं. तो मुझे उम्मीद है आज का ये सेमिनार हमें उसके लिए जरूर उसमें निकालने में हमारी मदद करेगा. थैंक यू सर.
थैंक यू अग्नीज मैम, आप हमेशा हमें प्रोत्साहित करती हैं और इस प्रोत्साहन के लिए भी बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. आज हमने कुछ नया खोजा. इसी के साथ सभी पार्टिसिपेंट से रिक्वेस्ट की प्लीज वो अपना वीडियो ऑन कर लें, सो दैट हम अपने मुख्य अतिथि वाइस चांसलर सर के साथ फोटो ले सकें. और हमारे जो स्पीकर है वो मैडम नाडिया यूके से, वो भी हमारे साथ जुड़ चुके हैं. तो प्लीज आप अपने वीडियोस ऑन कर लें. Nadia has joined with us. Can we see you, Nadia?
Yes, I am here. Can you see me?
Yeah, we can see you. Can you say hello to all?
Yes, hello everybody. Good to see everyone.
Same here. So, we have एक collage तैयार कर रहे हैं. Just wait for 10 seconds. The photos are getting ready. वो the Vice Chancellor sir, our esteemed, the chief guest.
मैम मेरी फोटो आ रही है.
Sir, नाम?
डॉक्टर कुलबीर सिंह.
Kulbir ji, yes.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Can we request you all make a victory sign, because we are defeating COVID. We are defeating COVID with all positivity, with all, yes.
While the pictures are being taken, Dr. Neeru, we can also...
Rajbir, just read naam le lo. We have taken, सर इस वेबिनार में ऑलमोस्ट हमें 192 रिस्पॉन्सेज मिले हैं. अभी और भी बहुत रिस्पॉन्स है, लेकिन हमें इसे शट करना पड़ा. यस,
वेरी नाइस, वेरी गुड नंबर.
यस सर, थैंक यू सो मच सर.
ओके
सर हमने तो 100 पे गिव अप कर दिया था, लेकिन प्रिंसिपल मैम ने एनकरेज किया, नो यू शुड कैरी ऑन. एंड
नहीं. Okay, very good. Take care, madam. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. So I request all the participants to please mute your video. Now I request Dr. Rakesh Malik on behalf of Director Sports, Punjab University, Chandigarh, to address the participants and the gathering. Then Professor Akshay from Journal of Integrative Medicine will be addressing us.
Very good morning to all. On behalf of Director Sports Punjab University and on behalf of Director Sports Dr. Parminder Singh Ahluwalia, as well as on my personal behalf, first of all, I would like to congratulate the Smart College of Education for taking this initiative in this pandemic period and organizing this webinar to enrich the knowledge about how to overcome this problem, this issue, and the current scenario. So, being a partner of this program, I am thankful to Madam Principal Dr. Rizillo to accept us as a co-partner of this seminar, and also thankful to Dr. Akshay Anand, who is collaborating with the seminars and giving wide publicity all over the world. So, at last, I am thankful to my colleague Nadia Morena from UK, basically from Venezuela, who is going to speak on the sports development program, which will be worked in this pandemic period also, and even can work after this pandemic period. She's a great sports promoter. She has a very vast experience in the field of humanity, and so she's working with the society from last 17 to 18 years. And his famous program is with the Ganar, who is collaborating, which was collaborated with the Pele, the famous football player. So at last, on behalf of Director Sports, as on my personal behalf and behalf of our worthy Director Sports, Dr. Parminder Singh Ahluwalia, I welcome each and everyone. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Now, further, I will request Dr. Akshay to kindly give his remarkable comments and what's the motivation for such type of webinar. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Neeru, Dr. Malik. Allow me to thank Dr. Rajkumar on behalf of Dr. Parminder Singh, Director of Sports, Dr. Neeru, who is always enthusiastic. Am I audible? I can't see myself. Am I audible? Hello?
Audible, sir? Audible?
Okay. And people can see me?
Sir, you are audible as well as visible.
Okay. Thank you. Sorry for that interruption.
No problem, sir.
I think Dr. Rajkumar very correctly pointed out that we should distract our diversions to material life from cars and fancy homes to more sensitive things such as music, art, culture, yoga. And I believe most of us share the same feelings and sensitivities, which is why we are all here. And I congratulate once again my fellow co-organizers for this meeting. You will be happy to know that and also may be curious to know what is this Journal of Integrative Medicine case reports here. As the name suggests, integration is happening through our journal. And as voiced by Dr. Rajkumar, that we should write up the deliberations and give it to him to edit, I extend the offer to publish it in our journal, because our journal brings about all the fields of music, arts, culture, in fact, the integrative or the alternative therapies in health systems to one platform. So we believe that there are therapies beyond modern medicine that may be of help to addressing anxiety, fear, uncertainty, or even disease per se. So we publish reports of patients who benefit from alternative therapies or integrative therapies, and therefore we value in full sensitivity and full scientific rigor to publish articles that benefit people from not only modern medicine, but also those that come from the alternative therapies by combining them in an integrated fashion. Incidentally, this is also the focus of the government through the Niti Aayog's policies, and we are pretty much fulfilling that. In fact, making this as the only journal in the world to put together these case reports. So we will be very happy to publish Dr. Neeru, Dr. Parminder, and Dr. Malik, the proceedings or the commentaries that come out of our deliberations today. And as you might know, that we are already running an online Yoga Scholars PGIMER Facebook live sessions 3 times in the day, 8:30 in the morning, 12:30 in the afternoon, and 6 p.m. in the evening, bringing eminent platform. So I think I will thank you all for coming, and let us learn together through this very original and very unique confluence of academics. And I will not keep you waiting for Nadia to speak and share her views. Thank you very much again. Hello.
Thank you so much, Akshay sir, for your words. And now I would like to bring into the notice of all the participants, because as this is the webinar, so it won't be possible without a specific technical assistance, which is being throughout the 24/7 provided by to us by Madam Rajni Sopti and Robin Inderpal Singh. So I request all the participants to please give a big round of applause to Madam Rajni, because 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, like we were working. So Rajni, this is for you. Thank you for bringing it to reality. Thank you so much. We are thank you, sir. We are also thankful to Dr. Amit Sopti, Prashant Arya, as well as Robin Inderpal.
Thank you so much.
So now we are waiting to hear Nadia, but before this, we are having few lines, because music acts as a stress buster. But when it is with message, so please zara dhyan se sunna. सारे participants देखना smile आ रही है.
होठों को करके गोल, सीटी बजा के बोल। होठों करके गोल, होठों को करके गोल, सीटी। मैम गाने शुरू हो गए, गाने कहाँ से ला रहे? कंफ्यूजन ही कंफ्यूजन है, सॉल्यूशन कुछ पता नहीं, सॉल्यूशन जो मिला हेलो क्या था पता नहीं, दिल जो तेरा बात बात पे घबराए, दिल पे रख के हाथ उसे दिल फुसला ले, दिल की इडियट है प्यार से उसको समझा ले, होठ घुमाओ तो सीधे
हेलो,
अभी गाने शुरू हो गए थे मैडम, क्या
आपने सुना नहीं मेरा मैसेज? हमने म्यूजिक के जरिए एक मैसेज दिया था.
ओके, अच्छा ओके यस
व्हेन द लाइफ इज आउट ऑफ कंट्रोल, होठों को करके बोल, सीटी बजा के बोल, ऑल इज वेल. यस, तो यस, कंफ्यूजन ही कंफ्यूजन है, फ्यूचर कुछ पता नहीं, सॉल्यूशन जब मिला तो क्वेश्चन क्या था पता नहीं. So दिल idiot है, प्यार से उसको समझा ले. So this was the message, because the mind is more restless as compared to the body. So we have to marshal the mind to marshal ourselves. So now, without wasting this time, I would like to respect Madam Nadia to please start with her presentation. And I would take this opportunity to introduce Madam Nadia with all of us. Okay. Madam Nadia Marano is from UK, is currently working as a Senior Program Officer for Child and Youth Development at Children International. Children International focuses on four core pillars: health, education, empowerment, and employment, all working together to help kids break the cycle of poverty. Nadia oversees the empowerment programs focused on life and social responsibility space across 7 countries in Latin America and the Caribbean LAC. Before joining Children International, Nadia led a Ganner program at Partners of Americans, Washington, D.C., with utilized soccer and other team sports to help at-risk youth aged between 18 to 24 years in Los Angeles find a job go break to school or to start their own business. She has also worked with soccer in the streets, Atlanta and Georgia, and Foundation Condam Regato and Colombia. She has extensive experience in using sports as a tool for social change, social development, youth development, and community outreach work. Nadia holds a master's degree in sports for social development and conflict resolution and received her undergraduate degree in political science and sociology from Emory University. Nadia has a firm belief in the power of sports to change lives. So here to present sports for the development, I give this audio to Nadia.
Thank you so much. I'm so grateful to be here this morning. Excuse me. I want to start by thanking the organizers of this event. A special thank you to Dev Samaj College of Education. A special thank you to the Department of Sports, Punjab University, and to the Journal of Integrative Medicine. I am so happy to be on this webinar today and to share with you a bit about the work we are doing at Children International. Children International is a global humanitarian organization that focuses on bringing people together to end poverty for good. And we implement programs across 10 countries in the world where we focus, like Madam Niru shared, on health, education, empowerment, and employment. And the work that I'm working on with a great team of individuals across the world is on sport for development, which falls under our empowerment programs. So again, I'm very thankful to be here with all of you today to share a bit about the work we are doing with a particular focus on the time that we are in today. As the speakers have shared, it is a very difficult time with the pandemic across the world due to COVID-19. So I will focus a few short slides on how play and sport are critical tools that we can use in the time of COVID-19. So before we begin on key activities and tools, let's talk a little bit about resilience. Resilience is one's ability to adapt to changes without losing our emotional stability. So when we think of resilience, there's a lot of images that come across in terms of bamboo or plants that bend without breaking. They're able to adapt and navigate different scenarios. Resiliency is also someone's ability to thrive in difficult circumstances and to come out stronger because of those circumstances. So sport and play can really help us in fostering our own resiliency. They help us release endorphins in the brain, which I know a lot of other teammates are experts on this topic and can speak more about this. But there's been a lot of research that shows that 20 minutes of physical activity helps our brain calm down and releases endorphins, which help us to produce happiness, right? Endorphins in the brain help us reach a happiness state. Sport and play also provide outlets for expression, and they promote coexistence and creativity. That in a time that we're in now is essential, because the times that we're in right now, we are experiencing a public trauma. A trauma is a deeply distressing event or experience or effect. It includes a shared experience. Everyone right now across the world is being experienced somehow or affected by COVID-19. They might know a family member or a friend in a difficult situation because of the COVID-19 or perhaps family or friend who passed away due to their experience, some form of quarantine and change to their normal way of living. So it's a shared trauma that we're all undergoing. There is a sense of a lack of judgment versus a private trauma, which maybe happens that someone doesn't know about. And there might be a lot of judgment and a lot of fear for people to bring this to attention. But in the case of COVID-19, it's a shared experience, so there's a lack of judgment, right? Many people are quarantined, staying home. It's something that's across the board. There is a sense of helplessness, and we know that these are due to things beyond our control. And there's a sense of loss, right? Whether it be loss of our ability to go outside, to go shopping, to continue with day-to-day life as is. So I wanted to start this presentation by really talking about the severity of the situation we're in, which the wonderful speakers who have gone before have mentioned. This is a crisis, and we need to come together as a sport community, as educators, as peers, to really see how we can help. So we at Children International, and among our dear colleagues like Dr. Nidu and Dr. Malik, we're hopeful that sport and the sport for development community can play a big role in helping with the times of COVID-19. So we know that sport and play help in healing and providing safe spaces to focus on the present moment versus being anxious of thinking about the future or focusing on the past. An activity or a game can really bring us to that present moment. Sport for development also allows us to focus on a goal or an area that we want to enhance or develop. And in most cases right now, in the majority of our work at the 10 countries that we work in, the majority of the work is focused on emotional well-being and life skills. Life skills are things like teamwork, communication, problem solving, managing stress and emotions. All of these skills that we all need as humans, but that children and youth especially need when they're in difficult situations. Because these are skills that the more you practice them, the better you are able to thrive, and the better you're able to make positive choices and have your choices pan out to desired outcomes. And sport and play also provide great opportunities for learning and talking about life skills. Even watching sport on TV, a big cricket game or football match, something tends to happen that we can stop and talk about it, whether it be a big foul, a big point or score or win or loss. It's easy to talk about that and apply it to something in our day-to-day lives. So one of the things that we look at closely in sport for development and in development programs in general is making sure that we are tailoring whatever the focus is. If we want to focus a game or a sport activity on self-esteem, on positive thinking, we want to play the game or the sport with the rules a bit changed, and then we want to have a reflection. And here are some ideas of what types of questions we can ask different ages for this reflection. And another way to do this is to think about questions for our head, questions for our heart, and questions for our feet or for our hands. So about head questions, there are a lot of what questions, which are easier for younger children to engage in and respond in. So let's say we just finished a ping pong or a badminton game. I can ask questions about what did you like of the badminton game? Things to get someone thinking, right? If I want to get deeper about things like self-awareness, self-esteem, I can ask, who are you? What is your name? What is your role in your family, in your school? I can ask things like, what do you feel? What do you feel when you get excited? What do you feel when you are sad? Those types of questions are what questions, and it helps them reflect on the experience they just had in the game. The heart questions are more so after I'm sharing about the feeling, now what? How do I make meaning of it? So it can be, we talked about self-esteem or teamwork in that activity. How did you feel during it? And get them to dig a little deeper. And lastly, the now what reflection questions really help us apply it to that day-to-day activity. So things like, based on what you learned, how can you use that in your home? How can you use that in your school? How can you use that to deal with the difficult times that we're in with COVID-19? So these are very important reflection questions that we can ask after any activity, whether it be yoga, art, sport, after any activity, to help someone process that experience and to be able to apply it to something else. So, as I shared before, we are in a very difficult time, and when we experience trauma, we tend to experience a lot of sadness and anger. So it is important for us to have support and reflection on these situations. So some recommendations: hug a pillow, do a physical activity, practice deep breathing, watch funny videos, write a letter or talk to someone, draw a picture. A lot of these recommendations might sound simple, but many individuals do not practice them. So when a child or a youth is sad or angry, maybe they get punished and they're told not to cry, not to share their feelings. So we want to make sure, especially in these times of trauma, that we're tailoring to some of these recommendations. There's a few here written about art. It's important to draw a picture, to do deep breathing like we're taught in a lot of yoga practices. All of that helps calm us down, especially with feelings of sadness and anger. Other points that are important, not just sadness and anger, we have 6 or 7 universal emotions that we all feel. So when we have these positive emotions like happiness, joy, excitement, there are other ways that we can really tap into those. And these allow us to strengthen our ties with others, to express our emotions, and to relieve stress. So some ideas here: interacting with through video calls, playing games, either local games or sport-based games, singing or dancing, recording funny videos. All of these are, again, simple tips that will really help someone with expressing their emotions and trying to relieve stress. So in conclusion, we can't talk about resilience, which is our ability to really navigate a difficult situation without compromising our emotional state, without talking about the role that emotions play. Emotions mark our reactions to events, and they need to be addressed, right? We need to be aware that we have these emotions, recognize them, and then channel them through different outlets. So in this way, let's try to make sure we are passing this difficult time by acquiring ways to confront situations and to adapt to difficult situations. So lastly, we should encourage individuals, regardless of age, whether they're children or even adults and elderly, to do things that they enjoy. Nearly any form of exercise or movement can really increase your activity level and decrease your stress. So the most important thing right now is just to start. Pick an activity and do it. There's multiple examples that, aren't even listed here, but we have to start somewhere. And we as a community of educators, of students, of individuals who want to see a positive change in our communities have to really encourage individuals in our family, in our neighborhood, through any channel we can, to start an activity to keep them engaged and to allow them to reflect what they're feeling versus staying by themselves on their own, unable to process and not being active. Because we know the alternative can lead to a lot of harm. So thank you so much for your time. This was my short presentation. I would love to hear any comments or questions that you might have.
Thank you so much, Nadia, for your beautiful presentation. And yes, definitely sports, meditation, and little activities can boost our morals. And these participation and these sports activities, meditating, yoga, painting, drawing, dancing, music, rhythmic, and artistic activities will help to release the positive emotions, thus balance of growth and development of the body for the holistic health as well as well-being of the humanity will be on a sustainable platform. Thank you so much. I request the participants, if you want to ask any question, please just unmute your mic and you can ask the question. Or your valuable inputs or remarks. If Chahal ma'am is listening me, may I request you, madam, for your remarks?
Yeah, so very fine presentation. And thank you so much for encouraging and giving us hope, because hope is which is needed the most at this time. And you gave us that hope. And I just wish and hope that we will be over with this soon. And we'll be able to look after not only our young generation, but everybody who needs the attention. Thank you so much, Nadia, for being there so early in the morning.
Oh, no, thank you. And I agree with you. I hope this too, I know it will pass. It's just a matter of time. So we have to be patient and it will pass soon. Thank you.
With people like you around, we are sure that we are in strong hands.
Thank you so much. And I'm so grateful to be with all of you. I know all of you are the true experts. I'm just sharing some of the work that, again, our great teams have done that has been very successful. I didn't share in this presentation some of our results, but we are measuring a lot of the program activities, and we have seen some great results through pre and post assessments of youth who have increased in certain life skills. We're using the 11 life skills of the World Health Organization and of the United Nations. And we've seen some positive results with changes as high as 40% from pre to post of youth self-reporting that they are doing better in self-esteem, teamwork, communication, managing emotions, and the life skills that I shared before. So this are things that are important and that we know can have a big impact on the day-to-day realities of our youth. especially in these difficult times.
Thank you so much, Jasleen ma'am. Thank you, Nadia. Any other question or any other remark?
Ma'am, there is no question, but this is a remarks only.
Okay.
That, as said by the madam, there are so many activities from where can.
Can you little audible to us? थोड़ा सा ऊंचा बोलेंगे आप?
Yes.
As
Thank
you.
By madam, there are so many activities from which we can benefit in this crisis situations. Yes, of course, these are the activities which generate some hopes, and hopes are the really, you can say, that is the path for happiness, and that hope through happiness, then you can go to the really holistic development, or you can say how you can come over these crises. So that's very nice. You can say these are the very nice activities which we can engage ourselves in these activities this time. So hope for the good time is a wonderful, you can say, efforts of your college and you. That's nice.
Thank you so much, Dinesh. And I just want to reiterate that hope is one of the fundamental
literacy across India as well as across overseas. मैं तहे दिल से ऑर्गेनाइजिंग कमेटी की ओर से स्वागत करती हूँ हमारे मोस्ट रिस्पेक्टफुल चेयरमैन सर श्रीमान निर्मल सिंह ढिल्लों जी. इनके लिए शायद मेरे पास शब्द कम पड़ेंगे. I will be lacking in words to introduce him because sir is so humble, so positive, so encouraging, as well as he stay in thin and thick times for the Dev Samaj employees as well as for the society. और सर के लिए जो शब्द हमारे मन से निकलते हैं क्योंकि सर आपकी पर्सनल और प्रोफेशनल कॉम्पिटेंसीज को पूरा प्लेटफॉर्म देते हैं. तो ये शब्द जो कहते हैं कि कितने सुंदर पंख है तुम्हारे. चेयरमैन सर, ये हम आपके लिए बोल रहे हैं. कितने सुंदर पंख है तुम्हारे, चलो इन्हें उड़ना सिखाता हूँ. जमीन तो तुमने छू ली है, जमीन तो तुमने छू ली है, चलो तुम्हें आसमान छूना सिखाता हूँ. सर थैंक यू हमारे में विश्वास रखने के लिए और हमें हमेशा प्रोत्साहित करने के लिए कि समाज को बेहतर बनाने के लिए अपने कर्मों के द्वारा जो भी हम कर सकते हैं हम वो करें. अब मैं आपसे अनुरोध करूंगी कि आप अपने शब्दों से हमारे सभी पार्टिसिपेंट्स को प्रोत्साहित करें.
मुझे इस समय बड़ी खुशी हो रही है कि देव समाज कॉलेज और यूनिवर्सिटी मिलकर कोरोना वायरस से जो एक भय पैदा हो गया है, एक डर पैदा हो गया है, उसको कम करने के लिए ये प्रयास कर रहे हैं. आज से प्राय 4 अरब साल पहले नेचर के विकास के क्रम में समुद्र के पानियों में एक सिंगल सेल पैदा हुआ. आप अंदाजा लगाएं कि उस सिंगल सेल से धीरे धीरे नेचर के विकास क्रम में वो सिंगल सेल उन अनुकूल हालात मिलते चले गए और वो मल्टी सेलुलर गठन को प्राप्त हुआ और आहिस्ता आहिस्ता समुद्र में ही वो कभी मछली, कभी मेंढक, कभी दूसरी जीवों की शक्ल में वो विकसित होता चला गया। एक वक्त ऐसा आया कि जब उसने समुद्र के पानियों से बाहर निकलकर पृथ्वी पर चलने की क्षमता, योग्यता लाभ की। उस समय वो पांव के ऊपर चल नहीं सकता था, कुछ कदम चलता था और फिर वो वापस हो जाता था। धीरे धीरे उसने दरख्तों के ऊपर भी चढ़ना सीख लिया, उसने गारों में भी रहना सीख लिया, उसने औजार बनाने भी सीख लिए और इस बेबसी के आलम में वो आगे बढ़ता चला गया। कोई अंदाजा नहीं कर सकता सिवाय जो उन लोगों के जो विकासवादी हैं, जो विकास के एवोल्यूशन की थ्योरी को मानते हैं, उसके बगैर समझना मुश्किल बड़ा है। धीरे धीरे वो बढ़ता हुआ वो सिंगल जो सेल था वो आगे बढ़ता चला गया और वो हमारी जो शारीरिक गठन थी, जो मानसिक गठन थी, जो भावक गठन थी, वो भी उसके साथ विकसित होती चली गई। और ऐसा ऐसा एक ऐसा वक्त आया जब वो 2 पांव के बल चलने लग गया और पृथ्वी पर उसके लिए सामान जो थे, वो जो अगले हाथ थे उसने वो उनके द्वारा काम करना शुरू किया, औजार बनाने शुरू किए, अपने लिए कुछ खाने की चीजें करत करनी शुरू की। ये बहुत लंबा अरसा इसमें वो गुजरा है और उसको उसमें से गुजर उसने अपने ये और अपने वातावरण में जो अनुकूल हालात पैदा किए, उन्हीं के द्वारा आगे जाकर हमने सब कुछ सीखा है। ना हमारे पास उस समय मकान थे, ना हमारे पास उस समय कपड़े थे, ना हमारे पास उस समय रहने के लिए कोई ऐसे अनुकूल हालात थे, लेकिन उन ऐसे हेल्पलेस हालात में भी वो जो हमारा पूर्वज था उसने हौसला नहीं छोड़ा। विकास के नियम पूरे होते चले गए और उसने कपड़े भी बना लिए, उसने औजार भी बना लिए, वो मकानों में भी रहने लग गया, वो कबीलों में रहने लग गया। ये बहुत लंबी कथा है। मैं बताना ये चाहता हूँ कि अगर हम विकासवाद को समझ पाए तो आज कोरोना का जो भय है ये हमारा खत्म हो जाएगा। हमने हालात को चीरा है। ये जो कोरोना का वायरस है, इसके लिए एक ही स्थिति है हमारे पास और वो है विज्ञान की, कि हम विज्ञान के द्वारा इसके ऊपर काबू पा सकेंगे और कोई विधि नहीं है। अभी मैं टीवी देख रहा था तो वहां मैंने देखा कि सैकड़ों दिल्ली में आज पुलिस वाले मोटरसाइकिलों के ऊपर एम्स हॉस्पिटल जो दिल्ली का है उसकी परिक्रमा कर रहे। मुझे बड़ी खुशी हुई कि मनुष्य ठीक जगह के ऊपर पहुंच गया है और उसको वाकई ही एम्स की वो परिक्रमा ही करनी चाहिए। इसलिए जो विज्ञान को हम अपनाते चले जाएंगे, हमारा हौसला भी बढ़ता चला जाएगा। जो हम विकासवाद को समझते चले जाएंगे तो हमारा डर भी खत्म होता चला गया। उर्दू का एक शेर मुझे याद आ गया कि ये क्या चंद तिनकों को फूंक डाला, ये क्या चंद तिनकों को फूंक डाला, जरन बिजलियों को कह दो, जो अज़्म तमीर आशियां है उसे जलाओ तो हम माने। जो हमारे अंदर अज़्म है बनाने का, जो हमारे अंदर इरादा है जीने का, जो हमारे अंदर इरादा है दूसरों के लिए जीने का, और जो हमारे इरादा है ग्रुप कल्चर में रहने का, समाज बनाकर रहने का, इसको कौन मार सकता है? जब तक ये इरादा है बिजली गिरे, तूफान आए, ये मनुष्य का काफिला बढ़ता ही चला जाएगा। और चंद दिनों की बात है, मुझे लगता है कि वायरस के लिए भी कोई ना कोई अनुकूल हालत विज्ञान के द्वारा हमारे पास आ जाएंगे। इसलिए डरने की बात नहीं है, विधियों को अपनाने की बात है, विज्ञान का साथ देने की बात है, विकासवाद की समझ की बात है। तो फिर हमारा डर जो है वो चला जाएगा। हम विकासकारी गतियां करेंगे और उसके द्वारा हम एक दूसरे के लिए सहायकारी होंगे और हम जो अनुचित भय है इससे हम एक ही विधि से निकल पाएंगे। इसलिए मेरी आपसे बहुत बहुत आपको मुबारकबाद भी देता हूँ कि ये आपने प्रोग्राम हमने जो किया है उसके लिए सबको, और उसके लिए ये बहुत जरूरी है कि हम अपना हौसला बनाए रखें। ये बाकी तो विज्ञान ने निकालना है, लेकिन हम हौसला ना छोड़े। हमने बहुत तूफान देखे हैं, बहुत मुसीबतों से हम आए हैं, और ये मुसीबत हमारे लिए चंद दिनों की मेहमान है। कुछ ना कुछ निकल आएगा और फिर मानव जाति उसी तरह हंसेगी, उसी तरह खिलेगी, उसी तरह सारे काम उसके चलेंगे। तो इन शब्दों के साथ, चंद शब्दों के साथ मैं अपनी शुभकामनाएं आप सबको देता हूँ कि आप लेट द साइंटिफिक टेम्पर लिव थ्रू यू, लेट द एवोल्यूशनरी बीइंग लिव थ्रू यू। ये दो मेरे जो फार्मूले हैं जीवन के, इनको याद रखें, साइंटिफिक टेम्पर को अपनाएं और ऐसी बातों में ना पड़े जिसमें भय है, जिसमें डर है, जिसमें दुख, अनुचित दुख है। उचित दुख तो मिलेंगे, अनुचित दुख है वो सब से हम निकल जाएंगे। धन्यवाद।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर। आपने हमें शब्द तो बोले, लेकिन हमें ऐसा लग रहा है कि आपने अपने शब्दों से हमें एक राह भी दिखाई है कि आप डरो मत, घबराओ मत, अपनी ओर से जितना आप सोसाइटी के बेटरमेंट और डेवलपमेंट के लिए कर सकते हैं वो करें। और ये एक तूफान है जो आया है, वो आके चला जाएगा। और शायद आप ये भी कह रहे हैं कि खड़ा है दुश्मन बाहर, खड़ा रहने दो, वो थक कर चला जाएगा। खड़ा है दुश्मन बाहर, खड़ा रहने दो, वो थक कर चला जाएगा। आज भारत घर के अंदर रहकर कोरोना रूपी महामारी पर विजय पा जाएगा, कोरोना रूपी महामारी पर विजय पा जाएगा। सर, आपके आशीर्वाद के लिए हम आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद करते हैं। और हमेशा से ही आपके शब्द हमें बहुत ही प्रोत्साहित करते हैं और हमें अपने में विश्वास दिलाते हैं। इन्हीं शब्दों के साथ ऑर्गेनाइजिंग कमेटी, देव समाज कॉलेज ऑफ एजुकेशन, डायरेक्टरेट ऑफ स्पोर्ट्स, पंजाब यूनिवर्सिटी चंडीगढ़ और जर्नल ऑफ इंटीग्रेटिव मेडिसिन PGIMER की ओर से तहे दिल से आपका धन्यवाद। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर।
शुक्रिया।
मैम हेलो मैम, प्लीज समूह बिठा दो एक बार, ਅਸੀਂ group photograph please sir ma'am.
Okay.
I request all the participants to please come on the video so that we can have a good collage with our worthy chairman sir. हमारे डायरेक्टर स्पोर्ट्स जो कि सुबह से हमारे साथ है, परमिंदर सर, आए यहाँ पे। Sir is keeping the social distancing. He's also working as a spinal pillar to us. And since 9 o'clock we are together. Yes. पूरी स्क्रीन हो रही है हमारे माननीय योग श्री निर्मल सिंह ढिल्लों से। ये कुछ यादें हैं जो हम संजो के रखना चाहते हैं। हम बिल्कुल नहीं चाहते कि हमारे चेयरमैन के साथ कोई भी बिताया हम मिस कर रहे हैं, या कोई भी ऐसे स्पीकर जो हमारे साथ हैं उनके साथ जो भी यादें हैं वो हमें ये एनकरेज करेंगे कि कैसे हमें कोरोना रूपी महामारी पर अपने डिस्टेंसिंग के रूप में एकजुटता दें। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर। Proceeding towards our next speaker of today, I request the participants to please stop the video, as well as if the audio is on, to mute. Vasudha ma'am, am I audible to you?
Yes, you are. Can you hear me clear?
Yeah, very clear, ma'am. Thank you so much. First of all, thank you for accepting our invitation in a very short notice. And since the day I heard you there in my mind, like behind mind there is buddhi, intellect, and that kept on asking me that if there is a platform to you, if you can make connection of Vasudha ma'am with the participants, and rather now today the connectivity of this webinar with the Facebook, Vasudha ma'am, I am able to you, and it is my proud privilege for getting you connected around the globe. So this is my proud privilege to introduce the next speaker of the day from the field of yoga, Dr. Vasudha M. Sharma, Medical Director of Vivekananda Health Global, an international chain of integrative medicine-based centers, which is a brand of Vyasa Healthcare Private Limited, entrepreneur in the field of integrative medicine and Ayurveda and yoga therapy consultant, researcher, and international speaker. She has completed a bachelor's degree in Ayurveda from Government Ayurveda Medical College, Bangalore, in the year 1999. Master's and PhD in Yoga from S. Vyasa University. Her doctoral work was on Ayurveda and Yoga therapy in the management of migraine headache without aura. She has been a clinical practitioner for the last 20 years and a practitioner of integrative medicine since 15 years, combining the traditional Indian system of medicine. Am I audible to all? Hello? Okay.
You're audible to me.
Vasudha ma'am?
Yeah,
I'm
you're
able to see you. Madam, please.
Neeru, you're audible.
Yeah, okay. Okay. So from the last 15 years, okay. So ma'am is working in the field of integrated medicine since 15 years, combining the traditional Indian system of medicine, Ayurveda, yoga, and naturopathy. Her areas of specialization includes integrative pain management with a focus of margin headache and women health problems, including infertility. She has been a speaker at several international conferences, and the recent achievement was her presentation on the integration of yoga and Ayurveda at the management of migraine headache at the American Headache Society's annual conference held in July 2019. With these words, Madam Vasudha, I welcome you to enlighten all the participants with your research experiences as well as the plans for you, as well as especially in the lockdown period due to COVID-19 pandemic, how you can be a significant mean and method to preserve the health of an individual. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. Namaste. I'm visible, right? You told me that you were...
Earlier you was visible. Earlier, ma'am, you was visible. Now, ma'am, you are sharing.
I've shared the screen. Can you see the screen?
Yeah, it's visible, ma'am. Sustainable development through yoga during COVID-19.
Yes. Video content. Yeah. So, namaste. It's a great privilege to be here on this platform to bring in my thoughts on the sustainable development using yoga during this phase of COVID-19, where we are all stationed at home, working from home. So we've learned new methodologies as to how we can sustain ourselves for better living. So that is what we're going to explore, but with specific reference to yoga. So what are we looking to sustain? So we need to work on sustainability in the field of health, economy, and environment. So let's just understand this through a very, very brief example, and the most commonest example of a tree. You can see a very lovely picture of a tree here. So a tree is, how does it grow? So you have a seed, it becomes a sapling, you water it every day, and you are, so vigilant. So every day, suppose you potted some seeds in your garden, you are so vigilant, you would like to go and see every day, probably twice in a day, thrice in a day, to understand, is that seed sprouted, has it become a sapling? And when it becomes a sapling, you want to, more and more protect it, understand how it is going to, really grow as a herb and then a tree. So in this process, you very well know that when it grows up and probably becomes 1 inch long, 3 inches long, 5 inches long, it needs your support. It needs nurturing from you, and that special attention will help it grow. and sustain. So as it slowly becomes a tree, it probably will not need it. So now we see so many trees on the roadside, large trees which are there surviving for last 50 years, 100 years, and probably more than that. So this is how the ecosystem works. And as and when it grows, it probably doesn't need the support, but it is self-sustaining. So that is what I would want to bring in, the concept of sustenance. So nature has got this ability for self-sustaining, and this natural ability of the system, including the human system, is what we need to explore. And we have to make, therefore, the health, the economy, and the environment of ours surrounding us sustainable. So this sustenance and evolution, similar evolution is what yoga has also undergone. Yoga is almost 5,000-year-old science, and when it has evolved in this whole process, we have seen it has also taken large changes during the evolution, but it is sustainable even now only because of what it has probably seen across these many thousands of years. So yoga, as understood, is a science of holistic living. What is the transition we have seen from then until now? Then it was a traditional approach to yoga. And we saw it in gurukulas. We saw people preaching about yoga, talking and teaching in person. And from the traditional approach, now it has reached that level where it has become a profession. So there are thousands of people who are professionals in the field of yoga. So you would hear about people being yoga instructors. They do their courses. They do their bachelors in yoga, masters in yoga. And we have seen this professional aspect of yoga very closely, because at SVYASA, we have thousands of students who are undergoing yoga as an educational program. That's how this transition of yoga from tradition to profession has happened. And that has helped it sustain. That's the change in the field also. And similarly, yoga was quite restricted to scriptural sciences. So scriptures talked largely about yoga. You had Vedanta, you had Upanishads. So all this has a lot of information about yoga. And from there, it has slowly moved on. And the scriptural reference has got transformed into evidence-based approach. So we are complementing the tradition with science and bringing in evidence to make yoga a more sustainable field of approach. And this is what has given yoga its edge. Now, the International Day of Yoga, which has been introduced, and the Prime Minister of India having supported yoga immensely, we see how yoga has evolved. And in the last 3 years or 4 years, we see there is a large difference as to the earlier approach, the way people used to think about yoga, what it is being thought of or being still explored. Of course, I would not say people have really arrived at understanding what yoga is all about, but exploration continues. And this helps the science sustain. And it has also moved in slowly to a therapeutic approach, a big transition. So when we talk about yoga as at fitness level, at wellness level, that has always been there for many years. But in the last probably about 1.5 decades, we have seen largely the implication of yoga at the fitness and wellness level too. So yoga, as many of us know, was probably just restricted to physical fitness.
Madam Vasudha, we cannot hear you. There is some problem in your audio. Hello? Am I audible to all the participants?
Yes, Neeru.
Yeah,
Okay,
we can hear you.
Okay.
But yes,
Ma'am,
our
Vasudha?
audio might have some problem.
Okay. No problem, sir.
Sign of error somewhere.
No problem. This is technology, and definitely we are going to bear, but her presentation is beautifully going on.
You can call her maybe to tell her that.
Yeah, sir, we are calling her. But meanwhile, Vikram sir, may I request you to please continue show some light, or we can definitely be listening you, but
Yeah, sure.
okay. Ma'am is coming on. Ma'am is coming on the line. Ma'am is coming. Vasudha ma'am is coming. Yes. The sustainable evolution of yoga is
वसुधा मैडम, आपको मेरी आवाज आ रही है? मैडम वसुधा, वसुधा मैडम, और किसी पार्टिसिपेंट को मैडम की आवाज आ रही है?
No, sir.
No, we can't hear her. We can't see her as well. No, sir. Just wait कीजिए, please. Wait for a while.
Maybe she is reconnecting.
हाँ जी, नहीं connecting तो just wait for a while. और आप अपनी सब प्लीज ऑडियो वीडियो ऑफ कर देना. आप वेट कीजिए, आई एम ट्राइंग टू कनेक्ट द मैडम. एक्चुअली काफी लोग न्यू टेक्नोलॉजी से वेल वर्स नहीं होते, तो इसका कई बार प्रॉब्लम आ जाती है. Meanwhile, there's an important information to all the participants that our paper presentation platform will start from 12:30 p.m. onward. सभी जो पेपर प्रेजेंटर हैं उनके लिए इंफॉर्मेशन है कि आपका जो पेपर प्रेजेंटेशन का जो मोड है, इसी मोड पे, इसी प्लेटफॉर्म पे 12:30 के बाद हम स्टार्ट कर रहे हैं कंटिन्यूटी. और हर एक पार्टिसिपेंट को 8 मिनट दिए जाएंगे बोलने के लिए, प्रपोज देने के लिए, और लास्ट के 2 मिनट्स पार्टिसिपेंट्स की तरफ से कोई इनपुट या कोई कमेंट्स या कोई क्वेश्चंस के लिए हम रखें. आई थिंक इट इज in a very short period of time. I think it is acceptable to all. 8 मिनट तो बहुत ज्यादा है जी. ज्यादा है तो सर आप लेकिन विक्रम सर आपके लिए 8 मिनट ज्यादा नहीं है, आप तो 2 घंटे बोलने वाले हो. विक्रम सर 15 मिनट सुपर फास्ट चलना पड़ेगा. हाँ नहीं, मैं जितना कर सकता.
Sir, we can have another speaker till ma'am is selected.
आप शुरू हो जाओ. एक्चुअली मैं चाहता नहीं कनेक्शन बीच में ब्रेक हो, तो जस्ट
हम तो 2 घंटे बोल सकते हैं साहब, पर समझने वाले को तो 8 मिनट ही समझ में आएगा, हमारे जैसे को.
नहीं जस्ट वेट कीजिए सर थोड़ा.
हमारा लेवल ऑफ अराउजल वो है, अलर्टनेस 8 मिनट का ही है.
मलिक साहब, डिपार्टमेंट की अचीवमेंट के बारे में ब्रीफ कर दो हमें. आपने माका ट्रॉफी जीती है इस बार.
माका से भी ज्यादा अचीवमेंट खेलो इंडिया की भी तो है. निफ्टी फर्स्ट गेम के ये फाउंडर क्या नाम है, चैंपियन हो गई. डॉक्टर मलिक
सर, मैं थोड़ा सा कन्वर्सेशन कर रहा था मैडम से, मैडम वसुधा के सर.
ओके.
एक्चुअली मैडम ऑनलाइन है कि वो लीव कर गए हैं. जस्ट I had to call her so that she could able to. नहीं लॉक नहीं है. I will just हाँ दोबारा करता हूँ. एक मिनट. नहीं अनलॉक है. मीटिंग इज अनलॉक. नहीं अनलॉक कोई भी आ सकता है. मैंने की प्रेजेंटेशन मोमेंट तो ब्रेक नहीं करना चाहता मैं. Yes, madam is trying to get the. Tripta madam, you are on the screen. Very good afternoon. Kindly keep your audio and video in the off mode so that we will get the better bandwidth. Thank you.
Hello.
So madam is trying to connect again. Meanwhile, just for the sake of information purpose, just sharing our experiences. Really, it's a very dramatic time for all of us, especially because I belong from the field of sports. So I just want to give some remarks that this is basically Olympic year and various outstanding athletes. The whole of the globe is working for the Olympic Games. And really, we are working very hard. Even our athletes are working hard. But unfortunately, we don't know what will be going to happen in the next few months. Because all the, what do you call?
Dan is connected, sir.
Okay. So, thank you for your issue, ma'am. Right. Yes, Madam Asada is on the line. So I am going to make her with the presenter. Madam Asada, आप line पे हैं? हाँ जी, you are welcome. Sorry for this technological aspects. Now I request all the participants, please keep your audio and video in the off mode. He is muted. Yeah. I'm going to mute all the participants from this side. Speaker is also muted. Yes. Unmute कर दीजिए उनको. Yes, हाँ जी कर दिया है. वसुधा मैडम.
हाँ जी, मैं I'm just continuing. आपको दिखाई दे रहा है?
नहीं अभी दिखाई नहीं दिया आप kindly use. Yes, now you are on the screen. Thank you. Yes. आप अपनी screen share कर सकते हैं restaurant.
Yeah. Now I think it's visible.
Thank you. Thanks for sorry for interruption also.
Okay. So just to continue from where we probably had a break. So we were talking about having a very holistic approach. So it has moved on from tradition to a professional period right now. And we have also understood that it was a scriptural based process. So from being just in the scriptures, being just a level of tradition, it has slowly moved on with an evidence-based approach. So now, for this whole concept of evolution, yoga has become very, very sustainable. So the evidence-based approach has been brought in, and we have complemented, tradition with science, and that's how yoga has evolved much more. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, madam, you are audible. Audible and visible. Your slide is also visible.
Right. Thank you. So that's how we understand. And then we have moved in from yoga being just to the wellness and the fitness level. moved on to the therapeutic approach of yoga, where we have brought in yoga at the level of therapy. What it means is we have understood how yoga can be brought in at the management of different diseases. So simple as common ailments to even the level of COVID-19, where yoga is becoming a parallel approach, a holistic approach in integration with other systems. And it has moved on from a cultural aspect. So yeah, a very simple example we talk about people coming to traditional homes in earlier days. So we used to always say, "Ab haath paud hoke fir aap andar aiye." And then people were moving around probably with slippers, and this is a kind of cultural change we have moved out of. But still, culture is always very strong, very much imbibed into ourselves. So from there on, we'll have to come back, revive this culture, and bring in the lifestyle change. So yoga definitely gives us a lot of lifestyle, regimental approaches. So yoga therefore talks about a lot of balance where different levels, at the level of the mind, body, emotion, and at the spiritual level. So when this happens, so it is very easy for us to understand how you really talk about equilibrium or equanimity. Bhagavad Gita very beautifully explains samatvam yoga uchyate. So yoga is that which brings in the equilibrium or equanimity at these levels. And we have different components of yoga which give us this kind of equilibrial status to help us sustain better, to help us evolve better. And there are the different concepts of yoga which help us understand the same. So we have what is called as sukha prapti and dukkha nivritti. So yoga, by helping us understand more about how we create an equanimity, also talks about how we can get out of different kinds of misery and how we can keep ourselves happy. So to avoid misery is what is known as dukkha nivritti, and to remain happy is what is called as sukha prapti. So when you talk about dukkha is just not about misery, grief. Dukkha is all about disease. Also, when somebody is probably having a health problem, he or she has so much of agony. So dukkha is also, or rather, another synonym for disease is also dukkha. So what are the kind of the dukkha we probably live with right now, this point of time, is very important to understand. And Bhagavad Gita continuously, continues to explain this in a very deeper way, where it is said that one whose mind is not disturbed by adversity and who in prosperity does not hanker after pleasures, who is free from attachment, fear, and anger, is called a man of wisdom. So this is what is very, very important for us to understand and adapt the concepts from which yoga has evolved into. And the process of this is understood at different levels. We explain in yoga about the different koshas, starting from the Annamaya kosha, which is at the body level, Pranamaya kosha, which is at the vital energy level, Manomaya kosha, Vijnanamaya kosha, and Anandamaya kosha, which is the level of bliss. So when we manage different physical and psychological problems, we need to understand that there has to be a balance between the mind and the body. So the psychosomatic issues which are concerned nowadays are the primary issues which we need to sort out. When we talk about dukkha and the psychosomatic issues, why is that prevalent? Because we see large percentage of what are called as NCDs, the non-communicable diseases. See, this is a very recent report by WHO published in 2017. As you can see, the cardiovascular diseases are in race. You have almost 365 million people across the world suffering from cardiovascular diseases. This is just one example in the whole list. So we have to come out of this dukkha or the disease. This is like NCDs. We also have large number of lifestyle disorders. So what's a lifestyle disorder? Now we talk about sedentary lifestyle. We talk about eating not the right stuff, which especially with respect to children. We talk about, probably lack of physical activity. So lifestyle disorders as simple as obesity, which is highly prevalent in the society, is slowly going up. So people probably make joke around nowadays, right? हम तो घर में बैठे हैं, खाना है, थोड़ा काम करना है, and then we are at our will, we have some freedom. So at this point of time, there are all chances that we might put on a little extra weight. So this is how a small change in our day-to-day activities can really, create larger trouble for us. And whatever it may be, whether it is a non-communicable disease or it's a lifestyle disorder, stress is a common factor. So psychological stress, which includes anxiety, which can include different other disorders of the mind, can contribute largely to the incidence of the same. Now, present scenario, if we have to understand it a little more in detail, NCDs have been there, psychological stress has been there, but what is the present condition in COVID? We have two basic things to understand. One, at the psychological level, what are people facing? We are not talking about people who are positive with COVID. We are mainly talking about people who are there, indoors, who are following the lockdown norms. And what are they undergoing? So they are undergoing stress, anxiety, depression, insomnia, which is sleeplessness. And there are other components, like you have the emotional upsurges, denial, anger, fear, all this is there. So, it is like said and done. COVID, the coronavirus is not going to come and see who this person is, he rich, poor, whoever he is. So basically everybody has stress. Just to give an example, morning I was just having a casual chat with a doctor, he's a diabetologist. So he was just trying to say, now how is, what are you doing, how is the clinical practice? And he was so clear, see whether it is me or you. So I have to, if his clinic is open, he has to get in people. And you do not know who is going to come and whether he is going to be in trouble, his staff is going to be in trouble. So he himself has a fear. So obviously everybody wants to do a lot of online consultations now and want to restrict their number of hours at their clinics. You cannot do procedures like as simple as an ECG because you are in contact with people. So there is so much of fear, anxiety which people undergo. But yes, we have to also understand that this fear, just getting scared, is not going to lead us anywhere. So we'll have to work on it. That is the most important part. And at the physical level, we have people who have lowered immunity, who probably face generalized issues like fatigue. They might be having lack of physical fitness. So these are some of the things which we need to understand. And many of us will be facing this. We only have to understand that, yes, it is because of this particular reason we are with. But who are vulnerable? Who are the people who probably can be tested positive? They are the group, like children, pregnant women, and maybe elderly. So therefore, you can see large, news covered up. Kindly take care of children at home. Kindly take care of your, aged parents at home. This is a very common thing which we all know, and the government has also taken a lot of steps to see that this communication goes very well to people. Now, how do we manage, the condition or the vulnerable people? We have to understand and see and adapt the concept of holistic well-being. That is what yoga talks about. So what is this holistic well-being all about? So major components are definitely managing or balancing your physical activity and your mental health. But you have a lot of added on factors. It is your spiritual health, your social harmony, the healthy lifestyle we follow, and some supportive elements of healthy relationship and nutrition. So all this is a management. So it's not just about the body. It's not about the physical body alone. It's about the body, it's about mind, and it's all about the additional support which the body needs, the mind needs. So when we have all of them in place and we're trying to approach them by giving equal opportunity at each level to function better, then we would probably bring in the concept of holistic wellness extremely well into ourselves. And this is very, very essential for us to sustain. What is yoga talking about? How do we do this? So there are 8 limbs of yoga, which are called as Ashtanga Yoga. So self-sustenance of ourselves during this phase, this primarily will play a role. Now we have said Ashtanga Yoga. So Ashta is 8, Anga limbs. So what are these? Maharishi Patanjali explains them very clearly in the Patanjali Yoga Sutras, saying they are Yama, which are the don'ts, Niyama, which are your observances, what you have to do. Asanas, you understand the physical postures. Pranayama are the regulated breathing practices. And you have Pratyahara, which is a bridge, which is talking about how you live and how disciplined you're supposed to be. Dharana, Dhyana, and Samadhi. So these are the 8 limbs of yoga, which Maharishi Patanjali explains. And these are the first steps, and they are called as Raja Yoga. So extensively known, there are 4 streams of yoga, and this stream is extremely important because this is like a fundamental stepping stone. Now, a child from being an infant moves into adolescence, being probably a young adult, and then goes into adolescence. So there is a stepping stool. Adolescence is said to be the phase, which is extremely important because once he moves on to become an adult, like an 18-year-old adult, it is very difficult to probably change the mindset, change the behavioral mindset. So what do parents do? They are, definitely concerned that the bridging, before that bridging happens, they have to really cultivate and imbibe children with all these important components. Similar is this. So when we talk about, yamas, so what are they? So what are yamas? First of all, they are the don'ts. So what you're not supposed to do. Himsa, which is non-violence. So non-violence, is it that, let's go fight out, there is a riot. We're not only talking about that kind of himsa or non-violence, but also about the mental non-violence, the psychological non-violence, which happens during distress. Now you have a COVID case, and then you have to, probably, you have to probably see that, you don't keep telling him, COVID positive ho, you have to take care, isolate, everybody in the family. So this doesn't really go too well with the people. So what happens then is you are trying to create so much of violence. So that's not what we have to do. We have to also show and show some empathy, because that is what people need, and a lot of support psychologically. Satya, talk the truth. Asteya, which is non-stealing, don't take away things from people. Also learn giving. So because giving is a very, very important aspect. So what we generally do, we if we talk about non-stealing in brief, so we say now we have colleagues around, we have some, and we, instead of sharing, 3 people have done this work. So say one person says, no, I really don't have to put their names, let me just publish it in my name, because that I is the feeling, that is what we'll have to get out of it. And this will definitely enable us to become better individuals. So what has happened there is just stealing. So stealing doesn't mean you have to be a thief, go and steal at homes. So this is also a different type of understanding which we have to cultivate. So Brahmacharya. So generally Brahmacharya is the word where we understand it as celibacy. So, but on a larger note, you have to understand how you don't get carried away with desires. So that is what Brahmacharya talks about. Desire to be anything, and especially desires with respect to the human requirement. And you have aparigraha, non-possessiveness. Don't get attached to things, Now, what has life taught us at this phase? We were attached. 9 a.m. we have to be at office, 6 p.m., 7 p.m. back at home. we have a specific schedule and we're so attached. Today, for some reasons, I'm not able to do some work, or go to office. Yes, okay, maybe they're higher ups. So I'm always trying to think, what is my boss going to tell me? But otherwise, no, there are so many day-to-day attachments we have, and there are people who have attachment to eating outside. Every weekend, every Saturday comes, especially in Bangalore, we see all restaurants full. What has happened now? That attachment is just got detached, right? So it's very important for us to be non-possessive. So niyamas. We talk about niyamas. We understand about what we need to do. That is the observances. We have to be puristic in our approach, both mentally and physically. And yoga talks about different purificatory techniques as well. Santosha is being contented with whatever we have. Don't ask for more. Get satisfied. Be contented. This is we have seen every Indian household. Every elderly talks about this. Therefore, that's the culture we were talking about. Tapas is penance. Penance is not necessarily a stage sitting and meditating on a log, but tapas is about we, ourselves, the mind, getting into such deeper aspects to get solutions is tapas. So today I make up my mind that yes, I need to serve the community and do it. And that's the penance. Now doctors, they're working day in and day out. Nurses, paramedical staff. So there are so many of them. So they, at that point of time, forget about their family. 12 hours they're on duty. Many of them don't keep their mobiles because that contact, just to see that the contact reduces. So this is the kind of tapas which we are doing at this phase. Swadhyaya, self-analysis or self-study. We have to get into deeper analysis of ourselves, our mindsets, and this phase has also given us that as just as a simple explanation. So today, if I've had, generally, probably just 2 hours for myself, because I have to go out, travel, do a lot of things. Now staying at home gives me additional time of say 2 hours because my travel time is 1 hour to the workplace. This additional time can always help you in thinking about yourself, reflect on what you have done and what you can do better. So that's very, very important. Ishvara Pranidhana is surrendering to the reality. So surrendering to the divine. This is needed because we have to prostrate against the highest power. If not, that I-ness, what we call as ahankara, is very, very dominant. And if ahankara dominates, then there is no clarity. The mind loses its clarity. So yamas, niyamas, asanas, there are all these components, and yama and niyamas are stepping stones to the other 6 components as we discussed among the Ashtanga Yoga. Now, so many components, yes, at different levels, that is based on the different koshas. We know how we can use them. We know their application is for wellness and for healing through yoga therapy. But at what levels can we bring in this? So we can help everyone, family, children, adolescents, adults, women, and elderly. So these are the different segments, who can be helped with respect to yoga. How yoga works in children. And to help us sustain, it's very important that we understand what is the impact yoga is making on us, let be children, adults, etc. Understand the kind of impact, physiological change it is bringing into the system, therefore adapt it for better sustenance. So understanding the same aspect, in continuity, what happens to children? There are many studies, and studies have shown very clearly that it improves physical and the mental well-being in children, and it improves resilience. So resilience is the commonest word which is being used now. So even if you go and check what is self-sustainability or what is sustainability, the first word which comes into picture is resilience. So you have to imbibe this factor to see and cope up for the futuristic needs. Therefore, it is very important that children become more and more resilient. Their mood, is much more at balance. Their emotions and stress is definitely improved after regular practice of yoga. Anxiety in children. So right now, all schools are closed. Anyway, it is summer vacation in India. But 8th, 10th, 9th standard, probably 10th graders and 11th graders, most of them have started online classes. But they're much happier because they sit at home, they study, and yes, they give their assignments, etc. But at a regular school-going phase, we have seen anxiety at different levels, parental anxiety, examination, stress, so many factors involved. So we have to definitely adapt yoga as a regular regimen for children, and we know that schools have made a great attempt in bringing in yoga in their curriculum. But it is not enough. Once a week, twice a week is not going to help. Like you have an assembly practice which is there every day in many schools or in most of the schools. We have to have some form of yoga at least 4 times in a week because minimum practice is needed to see the change. Therefore, parents also, as parents also, not just being dependent on school, we have to ensure that children make it a practice. When it is practice, it becomes a discipline. And only when it becomes a discipline, it can give us that inherent change. Adolescents, yes, tantrums. When you have a 14-year-old, 15-year-old, 16-year-old at home, parents will be able to relate to what I'm saying. Talk to them, they just want to bounce back. No. मैं जानता हूँ आप कैसे समझ सकते हो कि मैं नहीं जानता मैं नहीं जानती. This is a very very common statements which we might hear. So managing adolescents is definitely very very difficult, but we have to bring in methodologies to see that they are in a better state of mind, and we ourselves also have to improve. Not that parents are also greatly placed that we blame our children. So it's very important that yoga as a practice helps the adolescent regulate their emotion. And studies, as you can see, are very clearly showing that the state anxiety and the trait anxiety levels reduce in adolescents when they practice yoga regularly. It not only helps reduce anxiety, but helps improve their well-being, general well-being, self-control and self-efficacy, therefore bringing in better stress tolerance, mental focus, attention, and it improves their mood. Because that's what we see. So there is a lot of variations in mood in adolescents. Adults. Now, many of the adults, especially in cities, work, be it women, men. What are we facing when we regularly work? We face anxiety, we face stress. It could be performance stress mainly, right? So in IT, especially when there is a project closure, you have a team. So the team lead is so stressed. Tomorrow I have my project completion, reporting, etc. And today 2 of my team members are not available. What is this amount of stress he's undergoing? Secondly, large number of working